Let us see the topic on processing of cocoa. First, introduction. This botanical name of the cocoa bean is Theobroma cocoa. Cocoa trees grow best in tropical rainforests. The cocoa trees grow up to a height of 15 to 25 feet. A single tree produces 20 to 50 fruits per year. The pods are 10 to 18 cm in diameter, having a thick leathery rinds containing 20 to 50 beans inside in a row. The seeds are embedded in white pulp called cocoa. The flow chart of the processing of cocoa is shown here. First harvesting, then splitting, then fermentation up to 5 to 7 days, next curing, then drying. For dried cocoa beans, then cleaning, roasting, winnowing. Winnowing in the sense removal of small particles or dust particles. Then grinding, then pressing. In this pressing process, that is two variations are there. One is for cocoa powder and another one is for cocoa butter. First harvesting, the fully matured pods are harvested. When pods turn golden brown, it indicates the right time for harvesting. Then it will be stored for pre-fermentation storage. Then cutting and splitting of pods. Pods are split into two halves. One pod contains 20 to 40 seeds inside. It with white sugary and gummy pulp known as cocoa. Then beans with whitish pulp are extracted from pods. Then fermentation process. Fermentation has to be carried out within 24 to 48 hours. That means 1 day to 2 days. After pod breaking, fermentation process takes around a week and varies according to the species. Fermentation is the key step as it is responsible for chocolate flavor, characteristic aroma, and external browning of beans. Pulp surrounding the beans undergo fermentation. Pulp provides excellent medium for growth of microorganisms as it contains 10 to 15% of sugar. Then methods of fermentation is shown here. First method is heap method, then box and tray method, then basket method. Then drying. After fermentation process, drying of beans is carried out. It is done to bring down moisture content from 60% to 6 to 7.5%. It ensures its proper storage, otherwise subjected to mold growth, loosening of shell from beans. Then loss of astringency and bitter flavor. In this drying also there are two types, artificial drying and sun drying. Artificial drying in the sense cabinet dryer will be used for the drying process. Then roasting. Beans are roasted at 200 to 250 Fahrenheit for 1 to 2 hours. Characteristic aroma develops. Then color changes from reddish brown to dark brown. Beans become brittle. Brittle means hard. Shells and cotyledons of beans is separated by passing them in corrugated rollers and separating by winnowing. Then grinding. Heat produced during causes cocoa fat to melt. Cocoa nibs are grounded in stone mills or other suitable method. This suspension of melted fat with ground particles of cocoa is known as cocoa mass, chocolate liquor, or bitter chocolate. Then pressing of nibs. Filter pressing is done to separate major fat portion of cocoa mass to form cocoa butter. Then the amount of fat left in pressed cake can be varied by changing the conditions of pressing. The pressed cake is used for production of cocoa powder. Then dutching process. In this dutching process, pressed cake after removal of cocoa butter contains 1.8 to 11.3% free acids. Then the process of neutralization of these acids by adding requisite amount of alkali is known as Dutch process. Then cocoa products. First, cocoa butter. It is a pale yellow liquid edible oil with characteristic odor and flavor of chocolate. It melts at 34 degrees Celsius. It is rich in unsaturated fatty acids and antioxidants. Then chocolate. A food preparation in the form of a paste or solid block made from roasted the ground cocoa seeds, typically sweetened, made from mixing cocoa butter and cocoa liquor in varying amounts. In chocolate, there are two types, plain chocolate and milk chocolate. In plain chocolate, cocoa liquor plus cocoa butter and sugar will be added. In milk chocolate, cocoa liquor and cocoa butter and milk solids plus sugar will be added. Then cocoa powder. After extraction of cocoa butter from cocoa mass or liquor, the remaining parts is used for producing cocoa powder. Cocoa powder is rich in flavonoids. That's all about the processing of cocoa bean. Thank you.